Authors Over 50, Writing in Life's Sweetest Third. Authors Over 50's weekly podcast celebrates writers and their journeys to publication. Writing after 50 is a whole story on its own, so let's skip to life's sweetest third and talk with authors about their journey from pen to publish. Welcome. I'm Julia Daly, your host, and I invite you to listen to interviews with writers who've achieved their goal of publishing a book just later in life. We've seen award lists for under 30 or under 40, but I've yet to see lists for those who've achieved a significant milestone of their own, launching a new career and publishing their first book after the age of 50. We will hear about these authors' inspirations, struggles, strategies, and the smell of that first book. These writers' journeys inspire me because I'm one of them. My guest today grew up in the time of Prohibition and bootleggers. Her father was one of the first rum runners in the country and was murdered by the Mafia in a turf war at the age of 29. My guest was just 2 at the time. Now 101, she still writes every day with the perseverance and commitment of a woman half her age. The truth is liberating, but sometimes elusive, she explains. I'm always looking for it and how to best write about it, and I probably always will. Welcome to Authors Over 50, Babette Hughes.
Such drama.
Yes.
And such difficulties that were, obviously something that the whole family had to live with in the best way we could. But it provided me with such a lot of emotional energy that goes into the unconscious, and that when the unconscious emerges when we're writing, that's where the good stuff is. Have you ever had a time when I bet you have, when you've written a paragraph or a sentence and you wonder, where did that come from? It came from your unconscious. Your unconscious is a part of being human that Freud discovered is therapeutic. So that's a long answer, but it's to me a very important one that I love sharing. I love it.
Well, Babette, that's pretty profound this early in the morning, but I want you to hear our opening question on Authors Over 50 as always. And is more significant for you because you did not publish your first books until your mid-80s. But our opening question is, what took you so long to write your first book?
I guess I have to go back again to the early tragedies and say that my life was tumultuous. 3 marriages, children that I learned, and maybe it's something that we all really know, but divorce is very hard on children. And it was not an easy life or even a normal life. And as a result, I always felt very different. I guess because I am really different. How could I not be, I don't know if this was included in my bio, but my mother was raised in an orphanage. So there's a double difficulty during my early impressionable growth.
Well, we all have certainly had all of those difficulties, maybe not as many as you in your lifetime. I was an adopted child as well. So I understand, something about your family. But since
Mhm.
that time, you have been quite prolific. You have written a memoir, a trilogy of crime novels, and two other books, including your latest, Lessons in Evil, which is a timely topic on anti Semitism.
Right. And each book has taught me so that I think this is my eighth or ninth. And I've learned from each one, and I think this is my best work. I I I do. I'm proud of it. And when we talk about writers over 50, it also tells me of our courage. I think it takes bravery at that stage of life to attempt what we attempt, whether we're successful or not, we do it. We do it.
Well, we certainly do, and you certainly are, and achieving so much after 50. What do you think is the most challenging part of your artistic process?
One thing that occurs to me, and I think it fits into the over 50 thinking, is that our culture educates us to fear and despise old age. And I think that culture is very profound, it's very dangerous, and it's wrong. It's wrong, it's wrong. And whenever I have a chance, I will say that. I'm not that different, but people who are affected by our culture, and most of us are because culture is so powerful, that this is not true. It just isn't. These can be the best years of our lives. We can have more wisdom. We can have more of what it really takes, what we've learned to do what I'm doing and you're doing and others.
Well, Babette, the longer we live, the more hopefully we learn, and that we learn from our mistakes and we don't have to repeat those. My grandfather lived to be 99, and he saw from the horse and buggy to men on the moon. So you've seen so much in your lifetime and experienced so much, and that's just enriched all of your stories.
Absolutely. And I believe my life, it's enriched my life. Writers who write also enrich their lives. Part of it is the profound connection to our unconscious lives. And part of it is, I'm sure I'm not alone when I say I get pleasure from writing. I feel different when I'm writing. I feel better. I feel more, I don't know, stable. The the world looks better and it's keeps me going back and going back and going back because although of course we know that it's frustrating and all of that, it still gives us great pleasure. And I don't know how many other things in lives can do that.
That's so true. And I know that you have been asked over and over about the longevity of your life, and you must have wonderful genes, but I'm hoping that you tell me that you eat ice cream every night, because that's what I want to do.
I do. I
Oh,
do.
oh, thank goodness, Babette. Thank you for that.
I have no food wisdoms except ice cream. You know.
Thank you. Tell me, what is your inspiration for writing your latest book, Lessons in Evil? What inspired you to write that book at this time?
Partly because the world is focused on the conflicts, on the long history of Jews, on a resurgence of anti-Semitism. For me, these are sort of side things. For me, I am Jewish. I have, like everybody in the world, been horrified by what has transpired. And I know people are, you know, suffering because of those events. But for me, it was always with me in a way because the anti-Semitism is transformed from one Jewish person or Jewish family to another. It's always been there ever since all of us saw those horrible pictures. And we are, as Jews, we are focused on the fact that nobody is allowed to forget it. We have to keep it in the mind of people. So those were some of the political ideas that I had with this book, but I didn't consciously write about the political uh, aspects. I tried to write about what it was like, what I like to search for emotion when I write. I think when we are successful with emotion, it relates to readers in a very important way. And I knew that I had an emotional response to those events simply because I'm also Jewish and I'm of the generation that were of the 6 million. My age is the same age as those camps. So I think I'm trying to say that it was from my heart that I wrote the book. And it's what I did, it has two time frames, one after the war and one in the 60s and 70s. And the one about the war is partly about a Jewish family hiding from the Germans. And I took this family and thinking that people can respond more to a family than the 6 million, that this is the way to people's minds and hearts, not the political. That's an intellectual energy. It's not the same in my view.
It's just horrifying to think that our world keeps repeating these horrific scenarios over and over against a race of people. It's just more mind-boggling than I can comprehend. And I wonder if real people inspired any of your characters.
No, they're all my imagination. I knew no one that survived the camps. It's it's where, again, it's where the emotions for readers comes from. The the unconscious, the uh, fears, the uh, frustrations, all of these emotions are there for writing.
If you could ask your author idol, if you have one, a favorite author, one question, what would it be?
Oh, what a question that is. What would it be? It would be, why do you write?
That's a very profound question for all of us. And sometimes we have to dig really deeply to know what compels us to write our stories. And I think for me, it's legacy. And I know that is for you as well, to leave your legacy on this world, to know that your books are going to be on those library shelves long after we're gone, and to show our family and our friends that we had something to say, and that we really had something to do in this world that was important, that was significant.
That's so well said. That's so true. These days, all you need to do is Google. I've been writing so long enough to know that I usually go to the library and those old cards, those index cards, and it would take me a day of what I get on Google in 5 minutes.
So
So,
true. We're
yeah.
we're living in extraordinary times, aren't we?
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. And the only way we can reach the unconscious, I have learned, is by writing and writing and writing and throwing out most of what we write. And and then we can come to the gem, the jewel. Oh, where did that come from? And the only way we get to it is by writing and throwing out stuff and writing and throwing out stuff. I think we can't keep maybe what, 10% of what we write, 15%.
Do you have a particular writing routine? Do you write every day?
Yes. Yes. What I'm not writing now, but when I was writing, it was every day. It was from early in the morning. I'm not an early person, but I would get up at 5 or 6 because I was just kind of excited about what I was doing. And uh, I think for writers that are serious about writing, they have to do it every day. There are no shortcuts to, good work, and your interest in making something important, as you said, and a good bridge to others. That's so much a goal.
Do you have any other books in you?
Oh wow. I don't know. I'm in another phase of life where I'm not writing. Uh, it's very different being this age. The world is different to me. I'm different. That's that's another thing that I've learned. I think that people change. We have to be able to work with change, and change can be difficult for people. We usually feel more comfortable in, what we are, what we know. And I don't know who said it, but when you're young, you think you know everything, and when you're older, you're impressed, as I am, with how much I don't know.
Amen, Babette. I'm right there with you.
Really.
If you don't write another book, then I would encourage you to just write letters to people, because you have so much to share and so much wisdom. And I think, we've lost the art of the handwritten letter. And so I think that would be so meaningful to people you care about. I'm doing that to each of my grandchildren and my children, writing them a letter about how much they mean to me, and some of the special events and activities that we did together.
That's such a good idea. It's a great idea. And right now, just you inspired me. I would put it in my will. I would put it in after I'm dead, have letters to the children.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting them into a folder to be left with my will.
Okay, good idea.
Yeah. Babette, what does writing success look like to you?
Oh, it's so wonderful because it's so rare. If you think of success as selling a lot of books, no, I don't know what that's like. But I know what the satisfaction of writing well is, how rewarding it is. And it's just a different goal. It's just a different way to live. It's a different way to think. It's a different way to communicate to others. And as you just pointed out, to people we love.
Well, Babette, it's been a great visit with you here today. And as always, our last interview question is, our writers over 50 are quite unique. Do you have advice for writers 50 and above?
Oh boy, do I. The first thing is, do not listen to the culture. The culture does not tell us the truth. The culture tells us we're through when we reach this age or that age. To me, it's a cruel joke, because these can be the very best years of our lives. And in any case, we're not going to sit in a chair and watch TV because we're age such and such. We have too much that we've learned. We have too much that we want to give to others. So if that's one thing that this lovely visit has been, that would be a wonderful help to me. Yes.
That is grand advice for all of us today, Babette. And our wish for you is for you to leave your impressive legacy for many generations to come. And we just appreciate your being with us here today with your stories, and for your inspiring all of us. And I've been told that writing is like swimming, and you can do it for the rest of your lives. And you are proving that every day. So we are honored to call you one of our authors over 50.
Thank you so much for those kind words. And I just love this. And maybe someday we'll actually meet each other. But this has been wonderful for me. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us today. Please look for Authors Over 50 every Thursday when we will have conversations with accomplished debut novelists over the age of 50. Please subscribe and share with a friend. And check out my own publication journey after 50 at www.juliadaily, that's D-A-I-L-Y, like dailynewspaper.com. Until next time, keep reading and writing. And remember, it's never too late to fulfill a dream in life's sweetest third.